Well, hello there and good day. Thank you so much for joining me at Dystopian Report, the place where we talk about the nightmare world we found ourselves living in. I'm your host, Jesse Pullman, and today is Wednesday, August 20th, 2025 at about 5:15 p.m. EDT. Today we're going to talk about the reopening of former Japanese so-called internment camp Fort Bliss as a tried and true concentration camp in the United States, similar to Alligator or Auschwitz. We're turning to an NBC News article by Kimmy Yam. So let's just load this up real quick. Headline: Japanese-American groups blast use of Fort Bliss, former internment campsite, as ICE detention center. The use of national security rhetoric to justify mass incarceration today echoes the same logic that led to their forced removal and incarceration, one advocate said. We have a picture here. This will probably be the thumbnail photo of the ICE detention center being built at Fort Bliss in El Paso, Texas on August 8th. So we've known this was coming for a while. It's just being brought up upon. So this, again, article by Kimmy Yam. I accidentally clicked on her name. Sorry about that. Japanese-American groups criticize the construction of a new immigrant detention center in Texas at a military base that was used during World War II to imprison people of Japanese descent. Remember, in World War II, we didn't trust the Japanese Americans enough to let them be free, unlike the German Americans and the Italian Americans. We imprisoned the Japanese Americans, which was completely fucking insane and was a concentration camp. It was a concentration of people. But anyway, the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Detention Center at Fort Bliss in El Paso, which opened this past weekend, will be able to hold as many as 5,000 detainees upon its completion in the coming months, making it the largest federal detention center in the U.S. history. Japanese-American advocates, however, say that the facility, which once imprisoned people considered, quote, enemy aliens, unquote, is a chilling reminder of a dark past. Quote, the use of national security rhetoric to justify mass incarceration today echoes the same logic that led to their forced removal and incarceration, unquote, said Ann Burroughs, president and CEO of the Japanese-American National Museum in Los Angeles. It is inconceivable that the United States is once again building concentration camps, denying the lessons learned 80 years ago. Hey, she used the right word. The Trump administration hit back at the comparisons made between the use of the base during World War II and the current immigration climate, including those from the American Civil Liberties Union, which described the facility as another shameful chapter in Fort Bliss's history. To quote the administration, comparisons of illegal alien detention centers to internment camps using World War II are deranged and lazy, Department of Homeland Security spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin said in a statement. The facts are ICE is targeting the worst of the worst, including murderers, MS-13 gang members, pedophiles, and rapists. I'm going to stop right there with this article because we've heard this story before. We know this is a lie. This is a lie the administration is telling. The regime is telling. And yeah, it's a lie. The sprawling detention center, which cost roughly $1.2 billion to build. That's a lot of money, by the way. They could have gone to, schools or medical care. Currently has the capacity to hold an estimated 1,000 people. More than 80 years ago, the base was an official U.S. Army facility that was used as a temporary internment camp, holding nationals from Japan, Germany, and Italy. Okay, I take that back. I didn't know Germans and Italians were in prison there, said Derek Tomini, president of the National Japanese-American Historical Society. The square facility contained two compounds surrounded by barbed wire fences, Tomini said. Armed guard towers sat at the corners. Many of the individuals of Japanese descent, in addition to other immigrants who were detained there, were awaiting their hearing before an enemy alien, sorry, I got it in the wrong order, hearing board, Tomini explained. Generally, those held at U.S. Army facilities were first-generation Japanese Americans detained early in World War II and who were then processed and shipped to other internment camps, Tomini said. Both Tomini and Burroughs said that the comparisons between the immigrant detention center of the present and the internment camp of the past are neither deranged nor lazy. I'm going to take a second to take a sip of water because my mouth is hurting from reading this painful stuff. Entire communities, over 125,000 Japanese Americans, were forcibly removed from the West Coast in 1942, and today our immigrant brothers and sisters face the terror of ICE and CBP raids across the country, Burroughs said. It was a miscarriage of justice then, and is a miscarriage of justice now. Tommy says he thinks the way immigrants are being blamed for taking jobs, abusing government services, and being the source of a host of societal issues, smacks of the scapegoating of marginalized communities in the past, including during World War II. Quote, many of these same immigrants fled their home countries to avoid being taken away and placed into camps without charges or due process, unquote, Tomini said of the recent detentions. Some of those people are fleeing their home countries to avoid being tortured, and they're being tortured here now. Isn't that great? There's a whole lot more to this article, but I'm going to let you be the one to read it. I'm going to put a link in the description. I'm just going to sum it up here because we've gone on for about 5 minutes, and I think I've said my piece, right? This is insane. It's insane that we're doing this. It's evil that we're doing this, and it is our duty as citizens to resist this. How do we do that? Well, obviously, if you see something happening, do something about it to the best of your ability without getting yourself caught up. But, safety first. But speak to your representatives, protest, vote. Voting is what it's going to come down to. Make sure your Congress people know that you will not accept reforms to ICE. You want it abolished. You want it gone. Because this is the modern day Gestapo. This is the American Gestapo. There is no reforming it. There are only trials to be held for those who violated human rights laws. Anyway, I want to thank you all so much for joining me. If you appreciated this video, please do hit the like, share, subscribe, friend, follow, or whatever buttons. We're trying to hit 100 subscribers by the end of the year. It is late August. We've got about 88. We're hoping to hit 100, so that's 12 more. We need your support. Thank you so much for joining me, and as always on this channel, pieces.